Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me here on the WITN First Alert Desk at 8 a.m. I'm Gigi Barnett. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful morning so far. Today is going to be our calm before the storm kind of day, where we'll be seeing some 60s in some areas, a nice day on tap before we get into this winter storm mess that Jim will talk about in just a few moments. I do want to give Jim as much time as possible to talk about this, answer any of your questions, but we do have a story this morning out of Jacksonville. There is a homeless shelter that closed down, and that was due to not being up to code, but they are working on getting their fire codes up to date, working with an engineer to figure out a new plan to make sure that people in Jacksonville who are without a home, especially this weekend, are able to seek shelter and find a place to keep warm.
The city of Jacksonville has temporarily ordered New Rivers Ministries to stop letting homeless people stay overnight. Pastor Lisa Holloway says that's because the city said they don't have a firebox or a fire exit plan. Usher Vanessa Wilder says the news was hard to hear considering the people who rely on them for a warm place to sleep overnight.
It's tough because when you home in the warm and you got a shelter over your head, there's somebody out there who need that.
Holloway says originally she was upset by the city's decision, but she understands why they did it. She says her main goal is to keep the homeless safe inside the building at night and understands that the best way to do that is to be up to the fire code. She says the idea started when she got a calling to help in January 2025, right before a big snowstorm.
The Lord woke me up one night and told me to give them some place to go.
She says they offer more than just a place to rest at night. They set up cots for people to sleep on and have Christian-based movies and make popcorn. Wednesday afternoon, they started the process of getting up to proper fire codes as an engineer came by to create a fire exit plan. Pastor Holloway says the support has been overwhelming.
And I'm not sad. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm overjoyed, from the response of everybody. Like it's good.
So hopefully they can get that all back in place and up and running again in the next few days, especially as we're talking about this winter storm coming. So I'm going to leave it to you, Jim. You've got a lot to talk about here.
Shelters will be taking some people in as we get into the weekend next week. Once the storm's gone, some bitter cold air, not coming in for a day or two, but extended run of very cold numbers. I'm going to dig into that as well. Let's take a quick look out the door of the studio, looking out towards Arlington Boulevard. The mall is in that shot off to the center left of that picture. Get your bearings there, Arlington and Greenville Boulevard intersection there. And again, clouds, yeah, I had a sprinkle or two. That's pretty much done for most areas. Mid-40s out the door. I'll show you the radar here shortly. Let's talk about the storm again, get you updated. Winter storm watches are up from the Weather Service. These are issued ahead of warnings and advisories to get you ready for that increasing threat for a significant wintry event. We're looking at Sunday afternoon through the overnight, into Sunday through the overnight. The Monday afternoon is more for slick areas on Monday. Most of the precip will be done by the time we hit sunrise Monday, the way it looks right now. And when you look at that graphic, the first thing that makes me happy is the number of counties not in the watch, all around the Albemarle Sound, the Pamlico Sound, Beaufort County, the city of Washington, New Bern, Trenton, Jacksonville, not in the watch. That could change, but the trend here is a reason they're not in the watch. The bulk of the impactful winter weather looks like it'll stay a little west of you guys. Generally really gets more significant as you get back towards I-95. And as far as any shifts or changes, a little later arrival of what initially will likely be, I'm taking you into the weekend now, no worries until probably mid-afternoon Saturday. Kind of lock that into your head the way it looks now. Noon to dinner time Saturday, or noon to 5, noon to sunset. Initially light snow and sleet. All right, I don't think we'll see rain initially, maybe right on the coast. The air will be very cold on Saturday, and that means it won't take much of that light snow and sleet to potentially create slick bridges, overpasses, walkways. I would say by the time we hit lunchtime Saturday, you want to kind of have everything set that you need to do or want to do ahead of the storm. Saturday night into Sunday, generally a freezing rain to rain setup for an extended run. the transition line, which currently looks like a Highway 17 axis, if you will, give or take, that'll shift around. It may lock in a little further west, maybe a little further east. I could have put an either way arrow on that. Still kind of working on some of those details. But it looks like somewhere in that corridor, you'll move out of cold raindrops and into raindrops that are freezing on contact. That's what freezing rain is. It's rain that freezes on contact. That's Sunday into Sunday night as that storm cranks up off the coast and moves away by sunrise Monday. So the precip moves in Saturday afternoon, evening. Light snow and sleet initially, in all likelihood. Not a lot of snow from this one. The way things are shaping up, under an inch, if that, for most of us. Looking like a long shot to get over that. Big, big snows well west and north of us. Virginia and northward, you're just going to get hammered. Roads certainly here, like I mentioned, could start getting slick by the evening hours Saturday. Won't take much with the cold temps. And then the mess really kind of locks in Saturday night, Sunday night. The precip changes to freezing rain inland to rain east of Highway 17. Again, the amount of ice we get, the duration of the freezing rain dictates how bad the impacts will be. Power outage is certainly possible within that area. This is an early look at potential ice accumulation. Nothing on the coast to the sounds, and then you get towards Highway 17, 1/10 of an inch or so, back to I-95, 1/2 an inch, give or take. The further west you go, the more ice. This map will shift a little bit, but the bulk of the data looks pretty close to what I'm showing you right now. You got to get up towards 1/4 of an inch plus before you start seeing power outages. If we can shift that a little further west, most of us would do okay. It could go a little further east, keep that in mind. For snow, you got to have a freezing column of air from cloud level all the way to the surface. Sleet, snow that falls into temperatures above freezing, partially melts, and then falls back into a freezing air mass. You get those little sleet pellets. If you have a warmer than freezing temps off the surface all the way through cloud level, you get rain falling into a freezing surface, a freezing layer right at the surface. That's the freezing rain setup, and that's what we've got. The snow setup is back to the west and north. The satellite radar, again this morning, clouds. Those few raindrops moving out shortly on the coast. There's a look at the radar. I need to move those arrows. That's how quickly that's moving. Air temp, let's call it close to 50 outside. The wind out of the west at about 5 to 10. And the model data showing breaking the clouds up this afternoon. Air temps should make it to 61, 62 today. I think they will. Enjoy that. Stray shower tonight. Friday afternoon, some rain comes in southern counties, and then the cold air rushes in behind that. Watch Saturday morning, 20 degrees, clouds build, no precip through lunchtime Saturday, and then into the afternoon, that's light snow and sleet developing Saturday afternoon into the overnight. That's where the mess starts developing. So lots going on there we'll be keeping an eye on. And of course the cold temperatures, make sure your pets are well taken care of. Check on your neighbors, make sure all those heating devices are working well, because we are going to get some bitter cold overnights. Wrap those outdoor pipes again if you haven't checked them in a while. 13 Monday night. And again, the winter storm over the weekend, then a long run of cold temps to follow.
Yeah, and it looks like, I know you are mentioning after the storm passes, we'll still be stuck in those freezing temperatures. So it's also possible that anything that kind of fell onto the ground will freeze over, especially overnight.
Any little bit of melting that occurs during the afternoons, ices right back up quickly after sunset. And we'll have a couple of mornings with slick spots, no doubt, depending on what happens for the weekend. There's still some variability in the weekend forecast. I mean, if that rain, the freezing rain line shifts a little further inland, most of us are going to do pretty good. That's a possibility. But certainly right now, it looks like widespread freezing rain over the inland areas, and that's what we're forecasting. That's what you should plan for and hope for a potential better scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a great weekend for travel out there. I know Bernice is in our Facebook comments. Thanks for joining us again this morning, Bernice. She's got a flight out of RDU Sunday morning. Doesn't look like that's a good one. Doesn't sound like it'll work out. I'm sorry.
Unless that rain shifts well west, RDU looks like a mess Sunday morning right now. And that could change. I'm not saying it's definite. Man, if you're going even further west than that, or from Richmond northward all the way to New York, they could be measuring snow in a few spots with a yardstick, potentially. Some of the foothills of the mountains are going to get hammered. I mean, what a winter storm.
Yeah.
For us, the freezing rain is a lot to deal with, but we may avoid the heart of the snow and sleet in our backyards.
And like we've been saying the last few days, like you said, this forecast has been shifting, has been changing. So be sure to stay updated with us. We have that WITN weather app. We have our own app. We have our website. We have all the stuff going on here on our First Alert desk. We have the air. So be sure to keep checking in with us. All of our meteorologists are keeping a very close eye on what's going to be happening.
Yeah, and you should do the same. Follow us. See what we're forecasting. Because things change a lot. It's like a tropical system. You're always monitoring the track and then shifts that come with it. Same thing with a winter storm like this, because little shifts have big implications in the forecast. So follow our different platforms. We'll keep you well informed on how things are evolving.
Yeah. All right. Well, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy Thursday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Toyota of Goldsboro.